Welcome to Music Matters Podcast with Daryl Craig Harris, talking about all things music with celebrities, artists, music business insiders, and more. Corey Ledet, how you doing today?
All right. How about yourself?
I'm good. So you're coming to us from Louisiana. What town are you down there?
Small town called Parks, Louisiana. It's right in between Breaux Bridge and St. Martinville.
Awesome. I was saying, I bet you guys got some good food down there.
Yeah. It's I tell everybody all the time, it's hard to get on and stay on a diet around here.
Yeah, you got your crawfish, you got all the good stuff, all the good stuff that's not super healthy, but it tastes awesome.
It's not healthy, but it tastes amazing.
Exactly. So originally, you're a Houston boy. You moved down to Louisiana. I think you mentioned you moved down there in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
You have a new album coming out on December 23rd. It's Corey Ledet and Black Magic live in Alaska.
Yes.
So that's your band, but then Black Magic's also your accordion.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah, which we're gonna get to that. You have a really cool background, and how did you get started in music? Was your family musicians, or what got you going?
Yeah. So my family, I come from a really, really long line of musicians and music. So my great grandfather, which was Gabriel Ledet from Parks, Louisiana, he was a jazz bass player. He played the old time, like the old stand up bass guitars. And he played with the likes of like Bunk Johnson, if you're familiar with Bunk Johnson, and he several jazz bands in the area, in and around Parks, which I just found out that in those times, like in the late 1800s, early 1900s, there was more jazz bands in that area than it was in New Orleans. Kind of when jazz was first getting created, like the early jazz.
Yeah, the infancy of
Yeah. So my great grandfather was a bass player. My grandfather, Buchanan Ledet, was a drummer, jazz drummer, and of course, when his time came around, it was like swing music, big band music, stuff like that. And then in the mid 40s, I think he linked up with the King of Zydeco, Clifton Chenier, and when Clifton would come to town, that was his drummer. When Clifton would come in the area, my grandfather would play drums for him. And then Clifton started moving around, and then Rockin' Doopsie Senior, he started playing drums with him for a little while. And then the last Zydeco band that my grandfather played with was a guy called Furnace Arsenault, and he played with him for a little while. So, and then my dad played drums, but just really for fun. He never really got into the music business side of it. My uncle played snare drum in Grambling State University.
Wow.
When he was at Grambling. So a big drum family. My other uncle was a harmonica player. My other uncle was a vocalist. They didn't really get, like I said, they didn't get into the music scene of it. They just kind of like played it for like family events and just for fun.
It was kind of in the blood anyway.
Yeah,
Right,
yeah. And then so on the Poche side, my great grandmother was a Poche. That was all jazz musicians. So like Harold Poche Senior was a trumpet player. He taught music in New Orleans for a long time.
Wow.
His two sons, Harold Poche Jr. was a drummer. He played drums with Bobby Blue Bland, Ike and Tina Turner, people like that. Then his youngest brother, John Poche, was a keyboard player. He played with Percy Sledge and B.B. King. And
well, that's quite a like you almost didn't have a choice but to be a musician.
Yeah, and you know it's a blessing and a curse at the same time.
Oh, I know. I'm a musician too. I feel you. Yeah, it's kind of music is the thing. Like especially doing it as a professional, it's sort of the thing where it just grabs you, and it grabs you so hard you almost can't deny it, right?
Exactly. Like melodies is always in my head, like, and that's why I love so many different styles of music. I mean, I know I'm a Zydeco based band, but really like I'm Zydeco. I would like to consider myself Zydeco with variety, because like I said, it's a curse and a blessing. Like it's really hard for me to find a style of music that I'm not gonna like.
Yeah, and I'm the same way, and I think it all kind of affects each other, and of course, being surrounded by that much great jazz down there, the kind of the birthplace of jazz, really,
Yeah,
and and people only it's funny too because people only think about New Orleans, but it's actually the whole area, right?
exactly. The whole area was crazy. Like I said, we actually found this book about Buck Johnson, and it says in this book it was listing all the jazz bands that were just around this area that my grandfather and my great grandfather played in, and it was so many jazz bands. Like you should see this list of bands. I mean, there was
Yeah.
more bands in this area, the rural area, than it was in New Orleans area.
Yeah, and you got Mississippi, you got, Tennessee, Memphis. Like there's so much
Yeah.
in that area. It's obviously, I say it's something in the food, but in a way
Yeah,
it probably is.
it's
Yeah,
something in the boudin.
yeah, something in the water. Yeah, that's cool. So who were your actually beyond your family? Who were some of the early musicians that you looked up to just that really kind of got your soul going and wanting to play?
Well, for me, it kind of started with my grandfather because he passed away in 1978, and I wasn't born until 1981. So the fact that I never met him made him mysterious to me
Right.
because
Yeah.
I would hear all the incredible stories, how he would play with Clifton Chenier and how Ike and Tina Turner would come pick up my cousin from the house and going on tour. And of course, my dad and all my cousins, they tell these stories like so nonchalant. I'm like, wait a minute, hold on, back up. You mean to tell me Ike and Tina Turner came, rang the doorbell, and picked up Peony? And they're like, yeah, 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 and yeah, that's all. And then it dropped it back on the way. I'm like, wow, you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. So it would start with my grandfather, because like I said, I never met him, just heard the stories and seen some pictures. That got my interest at the beginning, and then it just kind of grew from there. And then I moved on to like listening to Clifton Chenier and Rock and Doopsie, just all the Zydeco greats, and then but not even that, like even the blues guys like Howlin' Wolf and Muddy Waters and T-Bone Walker and John Lee Hooker and just all these guys, and the love of my music just kind of grew like a
Mhm.
weed, a fast
Yeah.
weed from there.
Yeah, it's great. It's nice to have those kind of quality, influences. And people, modern people don't really realize how deep the Zydeco and all that stuff had an influence on jazz, rock and roll. Like it's all in that music. It's all
Oh,
the guys
absolutely,
that the Rolling Stones grew up loving, the guys
absolutely.
The Beatles listened to. They were listening to Muddy
Yep.
Waters. They were listening to all the old blues guys. Um, Yeah, Zydeco. So Zydeco's cool. Like people, it's actually people have a kind of a one-dimensional look at that, but it's actually pretty deep. And there's a lot of different strains of Zydeco. Kind of talk about that a little bit.
Like the different styles of it.
Yeah, I mean, because there's different kind of versions of Zydeco. It's not just one thing, which is a lot of people kind of think that, but there's more
Yeah.
to it.
Yeah, it really kind of depends on the artist because everybody has their own style, and you can kind of hear like what that person is influenced in. Like there's some guys that you can hear that their influence is more of like reggae style, so
Mm,
you hear like a little bit more in there. For example, like if you listen to Clifton, I mean he was heavily influenced with the blues. And you hear a lot of blues in his stuff, and like today, a lot of guys are influenced in like R&B, and country and all kind of modern stuff that they're hearing on the radio, and they're kind of influenced by that. They're putting that into their music. So it really kind of depends on the that artist. But like it's Zydeco is all across the board. Like it's not like you said, it's not just one thing, one track mind, one road. It's a big gumbo pot of all kind of stuff.
yeah, you get the same thing could be said about the blues. It's actually a very broad thing. It's not just one
Yeah,
thing, you know.
yeah. It's very great.
Yeah, everyone's like, it's BB King. It's like, well, it is BB King, but it's also, a lot of other
Yeah,
guys too. So
yeah, exactly.
yeah, yeah. So yeah, and I totally feel that. So this album coming up, Live in Alaska, is actually your 16th album, which is crazy because you're a young guy. How old are you?
44. I just made 44.
Well, you're young compared to me. I'm 60, so but
Well, you
yeah.
don't look it.
Well, thank you. But yeah, 16 albums. That is crazy. When you first did your first album, did you think? And plus, I should say that you've been nominated for Grammys a couple times, I think, right?
Yeah, twice.
Yeah, which is a huge accomplishment, especially for
Yes.
Zydeco, because Zydeco kind of gets a little overlooked in the Grammy area, I would imagine. But
Yeah,
uh,
yeah, it's kind of linked in with the regional roots, so that kind of makes the competition a little tougher too, because
yeah,
they have so many different great roots music all over the world. So
right, yeah, and it's very again like it's been super influential. So when you did your first album, could you foresee someday getting to your 16th, or was that on the radar?
no, not really. My first one it was actually a funny story. So my godfather we was talking about recording some stuff, and I said I'm finally want to go into the studio and kind of record something. And he's like, "Well, you're about 3 years too late on that idea." So, and that ended up being the title of my first recording, "Three
Oh,
Years Too Late."
oh, funny.
But as I started recording, and this is what I found out about myself, I really enjoy the recording process. Like I enjoy like creating, like writing songs, because there's a process. So for me, I have to come up with the songs, like write the songs, decide what key I want, decide what kind of tempo, just that whole creative process. And then take that and then go into a recording studio and put the pieces together. Like I
Mm.
really enjoy the whole process. And that's exactly why we're at our 16th recording, because I just really love to record. And when I go back and I listen to my first recordings, coming forward, I can hear the progression of myself. Like I can hear myself getting stronger as far as writing music and even just recording.
Mm.
Because when you go in the studio, like there's so many things you can do as like recording wise, like what kind of mics to use, what
Yep.
position you want to put, where you want to put it on the drums. How do you want the drums tuned? I mean, there's just so many things, and just coming up with something that would last forever. Like I just enjoy the process.
Yeah, and it's kind of like putting together your painting, your masterpiece, right? It's getting
Yeah,
all the right colors and all the right people,
exactly.
and yeah,
Exactly. Like so I hate putting puzzles together, but this puzzle I like to put together.
yeah. I'm about the same on that. Uh, so tell me about your band, and have you had the same band for a long time? Again, the records, and I should say, I was checking out the music that you have on Spotify,
Mm,
and man, it's rocking. And I really, well, the
thank you.
thing that struck me, especially as a bass player, is it grooves really hard. Like
Well, thank you. I appreciate that. Well, for me, well, I actually started off playing drums first. That was my first
I was gonna
instrument.
say, you could actually hear that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm very particular about my drums, like what kind of drums, what kind of heads, what kind of sticks, because I'm a drummer first. So, but this album here, and going forward, what I really want to do is I'm working with guys now that are very versatile. To whereas back in the day, when I was first recording and stuff like that, I was mainly working with strictly Zydeco musicians. But now, because I'm a fan of all music, I want a group of guys that can play all music. And I don't mean like, like a little bit. I mean like if I want to play a Guns N' Roses song, I
Right.
want it to be Guns N' Roses,
Awesome.
right? If I want to play a Clifton Chenier song, I want it to be Clifton Chenier. If I want to play a Corey Ledet song, I want it to be Corey Ledet. So in order to do that, I have to find guys that are seasoned, that's what we call well-seasoned musicians
Yeah.
that can do that at the drop of a dime. And
It's
that's
like
kind of where I'm going right now.
yeah, it's like putting together a good gumbo.
Yeah, exactly.
It's got to be
Exactly.
balanced. They got to be able to bring it. And
Exactly.
I think that that's super smart because a lot of times guys, if they're in a genre, they're known for a genre, they want to just hold so tight to that because they're afraid of stretching out. And I think it's awesome that you're willing to do that.
Yeah.
And it brings a new audience to what you do. Do you find that like people are
Yeah.
more open to what you're doing?
Definitely, definitely. I mean, like you said, like when I first was doing this, when I first moved back to Louisiana and I started doing it, I was kind of sticking strictly to Zydeco, but I was feeling unbalanced because in my spirit, like I really wanted to stretch out, but I know sometimes it's kind of hard to stretch out, like in this area, because a lot of people in this area they like to just kind of keep it uh, danceable,
Right.
right?
Yeah.
But musically, I wanted to stretch out, and like you said, by stretching out, I can reach a more broader audience. I can still play a regular Zydeco dance here whenever I'm home, but when I go to California or New York, I can really stretch out. Like we went to California a few years ago and we actually played Sweet Child on Mine, and like that won everybody over. And then I
Yeah,
played
yeah.
the guitar lick on the accordion. And it was like, whoa.
Yeah, that's super smart. And I was watching a very successful guy online, and he said if I was a band, I would be covering other people's tunes and get that stuff out there because it's just gonna
Yeah,
it's a calling card. It's like, oh, they're more than just one thing, which
exactly.
I think it's awesome. But I also respect the fact that there's traditionalists out there, like traditionalist jazz, traditionalist Zydeco folks that can make them a little uncomfortable.
Right, right. And really when you think about it, that's really what Clifton Chenier did in his time, When he was around home, he would play a lot of he would go back to the rootsy stuff, but when he would travel, and if you listen to his recordings, like he played at the time that was R&B, so he was doing like Ray Charles numbers, he
Right.
was doing Louis Jordan numbers like Choo Choo Cha Boogie, stuff like that, and he was really stretching out. But what I liked what he did, and I might apply that to my stuff. He would take these well-known songs and then sing it in Creole. So a
Oh,
lot of people actually thought that those were his songs, when really it was a Ray Charles song. He just was singing it in Creole. So
funny.
he's playing modern sounds, but he's bringing his culture with him. So
Yeah.
I just think that's a recipe that will always work,
Yeah, or
and that's
maybe you do a verse in Creole, then the chorus in English or something.
yeah,
That's a great, you know what? That's a cool strategy. And again, it's about reaching people. It's about communicating. So
right,
whatever gets that done in a way that's has integrity for you is an awesome path, I think.
exactly, and that's my vision right now. That's the road I want to travel. That's my journey now.
Awesome. Well, so when you're in the studio and you're writing, are you is it collaborative? Is it you coming up with the tunes and showing the guys? How do you approach that?
That's actually something new I'm trying. At first, it was all just me. I guess being stubborn. I wanted my way, and that's it. But I realize now that it's okay to, take in some ideas. Like somebody might say, "Hey, that's a cool song, but let's drop the key because it
Mm,
sounds like you're straining a little bit. Let's drop the key." Just little stuff like that helps.
yeah.
It just helps. Just little stuff like that. So it's collaborative. I'll ask the guy, how does it feel? What do you think? I'll even ask the engineer, what are you hearing as an engineer?
Yeah.
So it takes a team sometimes to well, it does take a team.
It takes a
It's like,
village.
yeah, it's like building a house. I mean, you
Yeah.
need more than one person to build a house.
Yeah. And it's good to get other ears on your project. It's good to have other
Yeah,
eyes and like you said, it gives you perspective because sometimes you're so in it, you're so in the middle of it. It's hard to
right,
kind of pull back and say, well, that's cool, but let's try this.
right.
That's right. Yeah.
And what really made me see that was when I started reading the back of the credits of different artists' albums. Like, take for example, like Michael Jackson stuff. Like Michael had, I wouldn't say help, but if you look at the song credits, like his name is on there for like songwriter, but there's probably going to be another name or maybe two or three other names with it.
Yeah. And
So it's
Quincy
not
and
just,
Quincy was right in there with him. Like that. They were,
yeah,
yeah.
exactly. So I mean, if it works for the king of pop, why wouldn't it work for somebody else?
That's exactly right. And you know what the thing is, it's good to like you're a smart guy and you're wanting to learn, and it's good to be open to learning because when you shut down that process, you kind of stop growing, right?
Exactly, and like you're gonna love this. My godfather, he's the wise one. He tells me all the time. He said, your mind is like a parachute. It works better when it's open.
Yeah, that's a great line. And that's very true. I think it's like just when you start thinking you're super smart, then you get smacked by life and you go, okay, yeah, okay,
Yeah,
I get it. It's time to learn a lesson.
yeah,
Are you are you
exactly.
are you self-producing on your records or like on this record? Did you self-produce it or did you have somebody working with you? Or
I had as far as the music, I kind of picked my original songs that I wanted to play. I kind of did like a little remixes of them, but the guy that was playing the keyboard, his name is Cecil Green. He helped to produce like the audio part of it because
oh, okay.
he's the studio guy. So we recorded it and I brought it to him and he helped bring it out. And also the guy that mastered it, His name is Ivan Klasanin, super knowledgeable guy in the studio. So that's two people right there that kind of helped me bring the energy of that album out.
Yeah, and it's again like you were saying it takes I always say it takes a village. That
Yes, it does.
people see the end product, but they don't realize all the nuts and bolts that had to go into making that happen, right?
Exactly, exactly. Everything needs a team.
Yeah, the team, and it takes years sometimes to build a proper team too.
Yeah,
Um,
exactly.
are are you going to be touring on this album? I know you're probably always playing live, anyways, but are you doing touring in the U.S. or are you doing mainly regional stuff or?
I'm working on some stuff right now. Nothing is guaranteed right now. I'm still kind of dotting our I's and crossing our T's on a lot of stuff, but I'm
Mhm.
looking to be traveling a little bit more outside of Louisiana with this one here.
Yeah, I need to get you over to Europe. I do a lot in Finland and Scandinavia, and they have all the festival stuff, and you'd be perfect for that, I think.
I would love to go. I love Europe. I would love to go.
Okay, I'll give you some. I'll give you some info on that because I know some nice
My,
people.
my passport is ready to go.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I always say like all of my best gigs have always happened at the last minute, and
Yeah,
it usually starts with, "Do you have a passport?"
yeah. Well, I'm putting it on the line right now. I have mine ready to go, brand new.
Yeah, there you go. Awesome. So you've been doing this a long time. You've had a lot of experience. I mean, obviously recording and all that. What's some advice that you would give to young musicians, guys that want to get out there and do it, want to start recording, but just don't really know the best path?
I would say, knowing what I know, I would say learning as much as you can is so important. And when I say learning, I mean, first of all, learning your craft first. So if you're going to go in the studio, if you're a musician, learn your instrument. Like learn your notes, learn your scales. Because I know it's a boring process to learn, but it definitely pays off when you get in the studio and you are working with either studio musicians or your musicians because you can speak music language. Like you can say, we're gonna play the song at 3/4 time in the key of C and the changes of 1/5/4.
Right.
And once you say that, if you know what that is, you already know half the song right there.
Yeah.
So learn that. Um, Also, just my big thing right now for and I'm telling a lot of young guys in the area because they all want to get into the music industry, and I tell them, and I know they don't want to hear it because I didn't want to hear it when it was told to me. I say, look, number one, learn your instrument. Whenever you get to a point and you feel like you don't need to learn anymore, that's when you're gonna not fail, but you're gonna get stuck right there.
You're right.
So continue to learn, and until your music is where you want it, I tell them all the time, get you another source of income coming in. Because right now with the economy and the way the world is, it's tough to just sit here and say you want to live off music.
Right.
So
Yeah.
I would say do that, keep your stuff straight with that until further notice. And that's
Yeah.
kind of what I'm preaching to the young guys right now.
Yeah, that's super smart. I mean, the thing is too, and you know this, and I know it too from just even doing the podcasting thing, that you've got to have a source of funding to be able to promote, to be able to record, to
Yep,
not live in poverty, because
right.
you can't do anything if you're worried about how you're going to eat.
Right. No, you can't. And the other thing is, health insurance. Not
Right.
too many musicians have health insurance. I'm not saying that you can't have health insurance, but it's harder to get um, while you're a musician.
Oh yeah.
So, if you get
That's so
sick and
true.
if you get sick and you need to have an operation or you need to go see a doctor, you need to be covered. So
Yeah.
that's kind of what I'm preaching right now. And it's funny. I can laugh at it because I was that guy. My godfather would always tell me, and my dad too, you need to work, you need to work, you need to work. You need to, what I'm saying? And at the time, of course, we're all 19 and 20 years old. We don't want to
Yeah.
hear that. We're
Yeah.
not gonna get sick.
You're bulletproof. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. We could drink transmission fluid. We ain't gonna do that. Ain't gonna do that. But if the earlier you start and you get that in line, the better off you'll be just overall.
Absolutely. And along that line, I'll give a shout out to Music Cares, which is a great organization that's a nonprofit, and they help musicians, professional musicians, with dental care, with medical stuff. And they're actually partners with the Grammy Foundation. So
Oh, cool.
yeah, check out Music Cares, everybody, if you're listening. Great folks. Yeah, awesome. So let's see here. So you got the album coming out, you got everything going on. What still gets you excited about music? What still gets you excited about doing another album and all that?
Well, what gets me excited about doing the album is just like I said, the process of creating that. I just enjoy the whole process of creating a project. Like, where do you want the project to go? And sometimes I have to stop myself because I'll say, okay, I want this project to go left. Well, when I say that, I'm putting limitations on it because I'm saying I want it to go left, but what if it needs to go right?
Yeah, exactly.
So, and I like that it's a challenge to me. Sometimes I gotta stop myself and say, ho. You almost have to let the album make itself,
Mm,
which sounds, I know it sounds crazy, but once you start recording and creating and you start going back and you listening to it, it may be something completely different from what you thought you wanted it to be. And you just have to let it make itself. The other thing that really excites me is when I'm actually playing live, just like on this live album, you can hear the audience. Like, I love the energy that the audience gives the band, and we give it right back. Because that's a real thing. The energy is a real thing. Like, when we're on stage and we're jamming, and the people are in there, they're having a good time. It's an energy that feels good. Like
mm,
Zydeco, especially with Zydeco, um, it's a feeling where whatever is bothering you, you can forget about it for the time that you're in there, that you're having a good time. I don't care if you're sick with something. I don't care if you're 3 months behind on your house note or whatever the case may be. For that small time that you're in there, it's not on your mind,
yeah,
and
and
you're
that and
feeling
that's
good.
that's so valuable too for just for humanity.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah,
we
exactly.
all need that. We all need something to just tap our foot and have a good time and forget your troubles for a minute. And it's also about communication, right? That's the whole thing with
Hmm.
music. It's ultimately about communicating.
Yep, exactly. It's the music is medicine.
Exactly. That's a good album title. Tell people how they can find you online and find your music.
So I'm on Facebook, Corey Ledet Zydeco on Facebook, also on Instagram, and then I have a fan page on Facebook, Corey Ledet fan page, Corey Ledet Zydeco fan page. Getting my website revamped right now, so that'll be coming back up soon. It'll just be CoreyLedet.com. I have a YouTube channel, Corey Ledet TV. I upload videos periodically on there.
Awesome.
So I'm just trying to be all over.
Yeah, being international.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and TikTok. I'm on TikTok now. I just got on TikTok. I'm learning how to work TikTok.
Yeah. You know what? A lot of people are on there. It's funny because I do a lot of social media and people like TikTok. I'm like, you know what? The whole world is on TikTok. So
Yep,
it's like whatever you need to do to get people to to hear what you're doing is an awesome thing as long as it feels right for you. That's perfect.
exactly.
Awesome. So everybody check out Corey Ledet, Zydeco, and Black Magic. I guess am I saying that correctly?
That
Live and
that
Laugh.
that is that is correct. Yes.
Okay. Live in Alaska, live album, and it's awesome. I've already checked it out. Very, very cool. It comes out December 23rd. Also, right now you have lots of music on your Spotify page. Uh,
Yes.
and it's awesome. There's a lot of fun stuff. And it's not only really straight Zydeco, there's some really cool stuff going on. So
It's a big gumbo. It's a big gumbo pot of music.
there you go. Yeah, and I love gumbo. Uh, awesome, man. Hey, thanks for joining me. I appreciate it. And
Thank you. I appreciate it.
have a great day and have some crawfish for me.
I'll do that. I'll have your portion of crawfish pie.
There you go. Yeah, you can send me a photo. That'd be awesome.
All right.
All right, Corey. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you.
All right. Have a great
All
day.
right. All right. Bye bye.
Thanks for joining us, and please consider subscribing to our podcast and follow us on our social media pages for guest announcements.